Let's take a look at radical and rational exponents and get everything reviewed. The first problem asks us to rewrite p to the 7/3. Well, if we remember correctly, the number on the bottom gives us the index. So we're going to have the cube root of p, and then the number up top stays as the power, so to the 7th. And they didn't say simplify, the directions just said rewrite, so we are actually done with that problem. Question 2 asks us to add. In order to add or subtract radicals, the radicand underneath each number has to be the same, and they aren't. At first glance, it might look like we can't do it, but we really can. We're just going to have to break down all of our numbers. 50 breaks down into 25 times 2, and of course 25 is 5 squared. The problem is there's a 2 out front, so we keep the 2 out front, times the 5, and then this 2 gets left in the radical sign. So that's going to become 10 square root 2. With 18, I'm going to break that down into 9 times 2, because 2 is prime. I'm going to keep the 6 out front. The square root of 9 is 3, and the 2 stays inside. Outside product is 18 times the square root of 2, and I just realized that I have 10 here, and that should be 2. The square root just comes straight down. And then finally 72 is 36 times 2, so keep the 5, and then the square root of 36 is 6, square root 2, so that becomes 30 square root 2. So now when all of our radicals are the same, we keep the radical and we just add the numbers out front. 10 plus 18 is 28, plus 30 is 58. When we have negative exponents, that means that they need to be moved. It doesn't mean the number out front is going to be negative. It just means to get rid of the negative, we're going to have to put it in the bottom of a fraction. 3 to the 4th would be in the bottom. To hold it down there, we just need a 1 up top. And 3 to the 4th is 81. We are asked to simplify the following. So remember, the bottom number is the index. And then the top number stays the power. We could square 27 first and then take the cube root, but that's like way too hard for my brain. So I'm going to do the cube root first. The cube root of 27 is 3. And then we still have our power squared. So we end up with 9. Here's another try at a problem like that. We've got the 5th root of 32 squared. The 5th root of 32 happens to be 2. We still keep the power squared. So our answer is 4. At first glance, it looks like we can't take the cube root of 9, and it's true, we can't, but we can rewrite it. So it's going to be the cube root. 9 breaks down because it's 3 times 3. So it's the cube root of 3 squared. And so I'm going to keep this 3, stays the same. And then our index becomes the bottom part of our exponent. And the power becomes the top part of our exponent. So we broke the radicand down as much as we could, 3 squared, and then we wrote our power as a fraction. 81 to the 1/4, we're asked to simplify. So again, the denominator of our fraction tells us what kind of root it's going to be. So the fourth root of 81, when we check our charts, that's just 3. We're asked to simplify this expression, and again, because it's subtraction, we're going to have to break down each radical sign. So 72, I'm going to treat that like 36 times 2. So there is this 3 out front. The square root of 36 is 6. Keep the square root of 2. I'm going to bring over the minus 7. 50 breaks up into 25 times 2. Square root of 25 is 5. And 2 is prime, so that's going to stay in our radical. Minus 5. 98 is 49 times 2. Square root of 49 is 7. And we're left with the 2 underneath. So multiply our numbers out front. So 18 root 2 minus 35 root 2 minus 35 root 2. Now because all of the radicals are the same, we can keep that square root of 2. 18 minus 35 is negative 52. In this problem, we're asked to simplify. We've got kind of a mess going on. We've got roots, we've got powers, we've got fractional powers. So let's just write everything as an exponent. So this x, the denominator of our power is going to be 3. And the top of our power will be 15. I'm going to fix that right away. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And it says times. Remember, in a square root, that's a 2, so that would be 26 to the 1/2. And I'm just going to rewrite times 26 to the negative 1/2. So we're going to keep our x to the 5th. When the bases are the same, these 26's, you keep the base and we add the powers. Well, 1/2 plus negative 1/2 is 0. And we know that any number to the 0 is 1. So that would just be x to the 5th. Our final problem together involves having square roots in the denominator, so it's not simplified yet. What we need to do is multiply by something called the conjugate. And that happens when we take the denominator how it is, square root of 13 and square root of 3, but we change from a plus to a minus. And then, of course, our rules of math say whatever you do on the bottom, you have to do on the top. So up top, I'm going to distribute the 30. So we have 30 square root 13 minus 30 square root 3. And in the denominator, we also have to distribute square root 13 times square root 13 is plain 13. Square root 13 times negative square root 3 is minus square root 39. Positive root 3 times root 13 is root 39. And finally, square root 3 times negative square root 3 is negative 3. So this is the beauty of a conjugate, because the roots cancel out in the bottom. So our denominator is just going to be 13 minus 3, or 10. And up in the numerator, I'm just rewriting it. We can't combine the top, because this is a square root of 13 and that's 3. However, we can cancel all these 10s. So we end up with 3 square root 13 minus 1 that I'm not going to write, square root 3. Good luck with your study island.